Hey, today I've got some chilling Reddit threads that genuinely had me sleeping with the lights on. If you want more of these videos, hit subscribe and drop a like. Let's get into it. My 28-year-old female neighbor works from home and is outside every single time I am. I started tracking it and now I can't sleep. This one was posted to r/let's not meet about 5 days ago by a user called Quiet Magnolia. And I'm going to be real with you, the title is already uncomfortable, but the details in this one got under my skin in a way most posts don't. Let me just read you this. She kept it short, but every line hits harder than the last. Here's how it starts. I, 28-year-old female, moved into a duplex about 6 months ago, and honestly, it felt like I'd finally found the right place. Quiet neighborhood, clean unit, rent I could actually afford. My neighbor on the other side is this mid-30s guy who works from home. He introduced himself during my first week, brought over a bag of coffee as a welcome gift. Seemed perfectly friendly. But after maybe 2 months, I started noticing something weird. Every single time I stepped outside, grabbing the mail, walking to my car, taking out the trash, he would appear. Not already outside, he would come outside right after I did, sometimes within 30 seconds. I told myself it was coincidence for weeks. People have routines, right? Maybe he just hears the door. But it kept happening and it started making my skin crawl, so I did something that either makes me smart or paranoid. I started a log. Date. Exact time I walked out, how many seconds until he appeared. I tracked it for 2 straight weeks. The pattern was airtight. 60 seconds or less, every single time, no matter if it was 7 in the morning or 11 at night. Then one evening I opened my bedroom window. It faces the complete opposite direction from his unit. There is zero line of sight from his side, no shared wall on that end, no way he could have seen or heard it. Within a minute, I heard his back door open. He was just standing in his yard. I haven't slept right since. That last detail is what stays with you, because once you take coincidence off the table, you're left with answers that are all genuinely unsettling. And she's not done testing him. What she decides to try next is where this really starts to fall apart. So Quiet Magnolia, 28-year-old female, has her log now. 2 solid weeks of timestamps, and every single one tells the same story. But she is done just sitting there taking notes. She needs to know if she is losing her mind or if this guy is actually tracking her every single move. I started running tests. 2 in the morning. I cracked my front door open just enough to step onto the porch. Stood there in the dark for maybe 10 seconds. His porch light flicked on. I could see him through the screen door, just standing there. I tried leaving through the back for the first time since I moved in. I had never once used that door. Within a minute, he was in his backyard. Every single test confirmed what I already knew but did not want to believe. My whole routine started to rot from the inside. Making coffee in the morning felt like performing for someone. Walking to the bathroom felt observed. Getting dressed. I cannot even describe what that felt like, knowing what I know now. I tried to talk myself out of it. Maybe he has insomnia. Maybe he works weird hours. Maybe the shared wall carries sound and he just hears me moving around. But none of that explains the bedroom window. There is no shared wall on that side. I told a coworker and she half believed me. Said it was probably coincidence. But when I called my brother, he went dead quiet. Then he asked me something I had never once considered. Does the duplex have any shared infrastructure? Shared walls with cavities, a shared attic crawl space, shared electrical panels? I had no idea what was inside those walls. He told me not to touch anything. Do not act different. He was coming that weekend and he was bringing equipment. That question changed the whole shape of this thing. 6 months she had been living there, and not once had she thought about what might be running through the walls between her unit and his. Her brother was not messing around. And honestly, at this point, neither was she. Because once you start wondering what is hiding inside the walls of your own home, that is not paranoia anymore. That is your gut screaming at you to pay attention. This next stretch is where the story goes from unsettling to unbearable. OP is alone, waiting for her brother, and the walls start talking. The 3 days before my brother got there were the longest of my life. Wednesday night, I turned off every light in my apartment and just sat on the couch in total silence. I don't know what I was trying to prove. Maybe that I was being paranoid? But around 11 p.m., I heard it. this faint electronic hum coming from behind my bathroom wall. I got up and put my ear against the mirror. It was warm. Not like room temperature warm, warmer than the wall around it. I stood there with my hand flat on the glass for maybe 10 seconds before I pulled away and just left the bathroom. I didn't sleep. I started showering at the gym the next morning. I think he noticed. His behavior shifted after that. He started waving bigger, lingering by the fence longer, asking me if everything was okay with this look on his face like he already knew the answer. Like he was watching me figure it out in real time. I felt like something being studied. My brother got there Saturday morning and I almost cried at the door. The comments on this one did not hold back. Please, please, please get an RF sweep done on your unit. I don't want to scare you, but this sounds exactly like hidden cameras. He's seeing you somehow. My brother actually just did this 2 days ago and I'm shaking as I type this. He found 2 cameras, one behind my bathroom mirror and one in the bedroom smoke detector, both hardwired through the shared wall into the neighbor's side. I haven't been back since. I wrote the post suspecting something, but I didn't expect it to be literally inside my walls. The part where you said he waters the same dead plant every time he comes out, that detail is going to stay with me. He doesn't even have a cover story. He just needs to be near you. A few days of silence. Then OP came back with an update post. They found cameras inside my walls and I'm never going back to that apartment. I went back and forth about whether to post this. People here helped me trust what I was feeling, so I owe you this. My brother came Saturday with an RF detector and a flashlight with a red filter for lens detection. We started in the bathroom because of the warm mirror. Within 20 minutes, he found it. A pinhole camera hardwired into the shared wall right behind the mirror. Lens no bigger than a pinhead. Wiring ran through the wall cavity to the neighbor's side with its own power source. Then he checked the bedroom. The smoke detector above my bed had a second camera inside it. Same setup, hardwired, professional grade. Not cheap spy shop gadgets you order online. Someone who knew what they were doing installed these. I called the police. During the investigation, the landlord admitted my neighbor had requested to do some electrical work before I moved in and was given unsupervised access to both units. I keep coming back to one thought. I was never alone in that apartment. Not once. Every shower, every time I changed, every phone call, every night I thought I was safe in bed, he was watching. 6 months and it was never my home. It was his set. And the comments on this one went exactly where you'd expect. I'm genuinely nauseous reading this. The smile he gives you every time he happens to be outside. He's enjoying the fact that you're noticing. As someone who manages rental properties, your landlord letting a tenant do electrical work with access to the adjacent unit is so wildly negligent it borders on complicity. Borders on? That landlord handed a stalker the keys to her unit and looked the other way. If this goes to civil court, the liability is enormous. OP should absolutely talk to a lawyer about the landlord too, not just the neighbor. So here's where it all came down. He was arrested. Voyeurism and unlawful surveillance charges. They took his equipment, his hard drives, everything. My lawyer is filing a civil suit against the landlord for giving him unsupervised access to both units and failing to do any kind of due diligence. He asked to do electrical work, and they just handed him the keys. No questions asked, no follow-up, no supervision. I'm staying with my brother for now. I don't have a timeline for when that changes, and I'm not sure it will. I flinch every time I hear a door open near me. Mirrors are ruined for me. I can't look at one without wondering what's behind it. Every single room I walk into, the first thing I do is check the smoke detectors. I check the vents, I check the outlets. I can't stop, and I don't want to stop. 6 months. He watched me for 6 months, and I had no idea. Every morning getting ready, every night getting undressed, every phone call, every moment I thought I was safe and alone in my own home. I wasn't. Not for a single second. This account is going dark after this. I just wanted to finish the story for everyone who reached out. Trust your gut. If something feels wrong, it is wrong. I wish I had listened to mine sooner. What gets me about this story isn't the cameras themselves, it's the duration. 6 months of your home being a stage you didn't know you were on. And OP's decision to start logging the pattern is what broke it all open. Her account went dark after this post. The comment section had things to say. This is textbook stalking behavior. Document everything. Photograph every encounter with a timestamp. Do not confront him alone under any circumstances. If something feels off about your own space, don't wait and don't rationalize it. But this isn't the only time someone's walls were hiding secrets. The next story takes that idea even further. My boyfriend, 27-year-old male, ignored my safe word and then said something I can't stop hearing in my head. This one genuinely unsettled me, and I don't say that lightly. There are stories on here that make you angry, stories that make you sad, but this one just sits wrong in your chest and it does not leave. It was posted 3 days ago on r/offmychest by a throwaway account. And the way she opens this post is what makes the rest hit so much harder. I, 24-year-old female, have been with my boyfriend, 27-year-old male, for 2 years. Up until about 4 months ago, I would have told you this was the healthiest relationship I had ever been in. We communicated well. We set boundaries early on. We had an active, intimate life, and we agreed on a safe word right from the start. It was something we both respected, or at least I thought we both did. About 4 months ago, things started to shift. He began ignoring soft no's. If I tensed up, he would go harder instead of slowing down. When I tried to talk to him about it, he said I was being too sensitive and that I was killing the mood. Then came the night everything changed. We were in the middle of things and I used the safe word. He did not stop. I said it again, louder. Nothing. I screamed it a third time. He finally froze, but he did not pull away. He stayed on top of me, breathing hard, both hands pinning my wrists down. He looked me dead in the eyes, completely calm, like he was commenting on the weather, and said, "You're lucky I like you. I was in the mood to kill you tonight." I went completely still. I did not breathe. I did not move. He just rolled off me, grabbed his phone, and started scrolling like absolutely nothing had happened. She is lying there next to this man, not breathing, too afraid to move a single muscle, and he is just scrolling through his phone like he did not just say the most terrifying thing you can hear from someone who had you pinned down seconds ago. That image alone should tell you everything you need to know, but this story is only getting started. So after that night, OP doesn't leave. She doesn't call anyone, she doesn't confront him, she does what so many people do in that kind of moment. She shuts down. And what she walks you through next is honestly one of the most unsettling slow burns I've read on this sub. I didn't sleep that night. I lay perfectly still, controlling every breath like my life depended on it. Maybe it did. His words kept looping, same sentence, same flat tone. I replayed it 500 times before the sun came up. Then morning came, and he was just normal. Made coffee, kissed my forehead on his way to the shower. I sat at the table, staring at my mug. When I finally brought it up, he laughed. "Babe, I was joking. It's dirty talk. Don't be weird about it." I almost believed him. I spent 2 days telling myself I was overreacting, but something shifted inside me. I started noticing things I'd brushed off, how he'd grip my arm too hard in public, how he'd go cold and silent if I said no to anything, how he once pinned our cat down by its neck while it struggled and called it a joke. I found survivor forums online one night. Someone suggested a hidden camera. I bought a small one, hid it on the bedroom shelf behind some books aimed at the bed. Told myself I was paranoid and I'd feel stupid in a week. I wish I had been paranoid. I wish that's all it was. That last line lands different when you realize she already knows what the camera caught. She's telling you all of this from the other side of it. And when someone frames their story like that, "I wish I had been paranoid," you already know where this is going. What she finds on that footage is coming, and it is so much worse than what you're imagining right now. And this is where OP makes a decision that changes everything. She has 2 weeks of footage sitting on her phone, and she almost never watches it. For 2 weeks, I acted like everything was fine. And honestly, he made it easy. He was being so sweet. Flowers on the counter when I got home, dinner already made, gentle in bed, checking in on me. I almost deleted the footage. I sat there with my thumb over the delete button, thinking I was just some paranoid girlfriend losing it over one bad night. Then one night around 3 a.m., I could not sleep. I was lying right next to him, and I just had to know. I pulled up a random night's recording and skipped ahead to when we were both in bed. For about 40 minutes, nothing happened. We are both asleep. Then he moves. His eyes are open. He rolls toward me and starts whispering. I turned the volume all the way up. He was talking to me while I slept. Calm, detailed, describing things he wanted to do to me. Things that made the safe word night sound like a warning shot. Then his hand came up to my throat. He traced his fingers along my neck, slow and deliberate, like he was memorizing the shape of it. He did this for almost 20 minutes. I checked another night, same thing. Another night, same. Every single night he waited for me to fall asleep, and then he did this. I threw up. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold my phone. I called my cousin at 4 a.m. sobbing and told her everything. Then I called my best friend. I have not slept since. The comments on this one did not hold back. I work in DV advocacy. What he said is what we call a test statement. He's gauging your reaction to see how far he can go. This is textbook escalation. That's exactly what it felt like. The next morning, he acted completely normal, made me coffee, kissed my forehead. When I brought it up, he said I was being dramatic and that he was obviously joking. But the way he looked at me when he said it, there was nothing joking about it. He wanted to see if I'd stay, and I did. For 2 more weeks, I stayed, and I hate myself for it. Please leave, please. That is not a joke. That is not dirty talk. That is a man telling you exactly who he is. Believe him the first time. OP. I know you love him, and I know you're scared, but love does not hold you down while you scream. That's not a relationship. That's captivity with a lease agreement. Then OP came back with an update post, and honestly, this is where it gets worse. I watched the footage and I haven't slept in 2 days. I'm safe. I want to start with that because I know people were worried. I'm staying with my cousin and I have not gone back to the apartment. I need to talk about what I saw on those recordings because I didn't say everything in my first post. It wasn't just whispering. There were nights where he placed both hands loosely around my neck and just held them there while I slept. Not squeezing, just holding, like he was measuring. Some nights for 20 minutes or more. But here's the part I wasn't expecting. Someone shared an anonymized version of my original post on Twitter and it spread. A few days later, his ex-girlfriend reached out to me through a mutual friend. She told me he did the exact same thing to her. The boundary pushing, ignoring her safe word, the whispering while she slept. But with her, it went further. During an argument, he choked her until she lost consciousness. She woke up on the floor and he told her she fainted from yelling too hard. She never reported it. The last thing she said to me was, "He's practicing. Every night he's practicing." People in the comments were not holding back. One top comment said the ex confirming a pattern changes this from scary to criminal, that this man will kill someone. Another said he literally rehearses on your unconscious body and called it the most chilling thing they'd ever read on the sub. A heavily awarded comment told OP to save every second of that footage in multiple locations and get a lawyer yesterday. The calm voice is what got me. Rage would almost be less scary. He said it like a fact about himself. That man knows exactly what he is. That's the part that's going to live in my head. There's a difference between someone losing control and someone who's perfectly in control and choosing to show you what's underneath. The second one is so much worse, because it means every normal moment was a mask. I'm shaking reading this. A safe word exists specifically because both people agree it's absolute. The second he ignored it, consent ended. Full stop. What comes next is the part where she stops just surviving it and starts getting herself out. And honestly, she does it exactly right. I packed while he was at work. Essentials only. Clothes, documents, the camera, every hard drive with recordings on it. Everything was already backed up to cloud storage, and my cousin had a separate copy on a USB I gave her the week before. I didn't leave a note. I didn't say goodbye. I just drove to the police station and filed a report. The officer who sat down to review the footage went quiet. He didn't say a word for what felt like a very long time. Then he stood up and said he was connecting me with a detective right away. A temporary restraining order was granted that same week. His ex agreed to give a formal statement. and I found out a second ex may also be coming forward. I'm in therapy now. I'm sleeping at my cousin's place, but I still can't sleep without every single light on. I lie awake imagining his fingers tracing along my throat in the dark, wondering how many nights I slept through it without knowing, wondering what would have happened if I never put up that camera. I keep thinking about all the nights I thought I was safe. I wasn't safe for a single one of them, and that is the thing that stays with you long after you close this post. It was never really about the threat he said to her face that night. The most terrifying part is the hundreds of quiet rehearsals she never knew were happening. Night after night, while she was asleep, he was right there beside her, practicing, testing, getting comfortable. 2 years in, and this is surfacing now. Please check if he has priors. I'm not being dramatic. People who say things like that calmly have usually thought about it before. Another comment just said, "The lights on detail broke me." Yeah, same here. And that is the last story for today. If you made it through all of that, thank you for sticking around. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.